Hello, hello. Happy almost full moon. Super exciting things happening in the universe. I know yesterday I said I was going to do this do it yourself, but we are going to do it today actually, because yesterday kind of got away from me. So I'm going to give a second and kind of get everything set up and see if anyone has an opportunity to get on. I didn't really announce anything as per usual, so we're kind of just winging it, you know, with timing and announcements and whatever. So all week I've been like really on it and like getting a lot of things done. And I just kind of want to drop an apology for if I sprang too much at you folks at one time. I was really, and still am really, just getting used to this being on top of everything as I've been feeling and kind of being thrown a whirlwind of it all. So if that was a lot of information and stuff over the last couple days, here we are moving forward and on to the next. And now that I'm kind of settled in all of this new exciting stuff, it's not so vomit-like, so to speak, just like coming out everywhere. I feel more in tune with how to address everything, because that's one thing about myself is like when I get excited and ready about something, like it just all springs forward and comes out. So I just want to put that out there, that if I've been dropping a lot on you in the last couple days, like I totally appreciate you being here for it. And I also kind of want to pull that apology in case there's a little bit of an energetic overload. So we're doing it yourself for the full moon. Hold on one second. This full moon's a little different because what we really want to do is prepare for the spring equinox. We don't just want to focus how we normally would in full moon energy. We really want to allow new things to birth and renew and come to the surface that maybe we weren't paying attention to before. And that's something also that's really fucking awesome about this full moon, is instead of it being more of a completion like most full moons are, we're still holding that new moon energy really, really vividly. And this full moon, because it is the last moon of the astrological year leading into the spring equinox, allows us to really bring everything forward that needs to be brought forward and shine the light on the areas that we are maybe unsure of. So we're going to do we're always going to, like always, we're going to do our full moon water. We're also going to do a little manifestation box, as well as get some seedlings planted for the equinox that's coming. So lots of fun activities, lots of fun things. And I apologize as well for not really giving the notification about this. It's kind of just one of those things. But I will replay it, and it will be on my YouTube as well. So we have cleansed the space, and today just feels like a really good spring renewal day. Just a day to really get things moving in a present moment tense, doing what feels right in the moment, allowing us to come to what is meant for us. So what should we start with? Really wondering. Let's pull a card and see what energy we've got going on today. So the full moon actually, oh, perfect. Clarity card. And that is exactly what we're looking for with this full moon. This super moon, remember from the video I posted the other day, is shining this illuminated spirit on what we we're unsure about showing to the world, and we're unsure to put out inside ourselves. So this is a perfect way to start with this clarity card. Okay, so let's start with our manifestation boxes. So you're going to need a jar, a box, something that you can harness energy to and work with energy thoroughly and fluidly with for the coming time. So if you have one of my Reiki vessels, this is going to be a really great time to pull that out and use that. So I am using this little guy. Okay, and he just opens up. So when we are talking about this full moon, we are talking about Virgo being the truth seeker. Again, the clarity coming into play, everything coming to the surface. You're not going to be able to hide from those things. So with this manifestation box, what I really want us to build is something that allows us to let the truth come out, the clarity come forward, and illuminate those pieces of ourselves that we were unsure of. So get your jar, get your box, get whatever you're using. I'm using a little canister. If you have a Reiki piece, this would be or enchanted piece that I've made. This is a really great time to pull that out. So first and foremost, as always, we're going to start with some salt, because when we're going into our truth and we're moving into these forces that sometimes we don't like to shine light on, we really want to be protected from our in our boundaries and in a universal plane sense and a multidimensional plane sense, because you never know what you're going to come into contact with when you are feeling uneasy and unsure of certain things. So we're just going to put some salt in the bottom of that manifestation box to set our boundaries and to protect us, okay? So some salt in the bottom. Now, depending on who you like to call to when you do, your spiritual work, or, you're working within yourselves, if there's any specific deities or whatever, you really want to pull from something that is going to bring them into play as an offering. So personally, I always connect with Aphrodite and Hecate. So for Aphrodite, I have a seashell that I'm going to pass in there, because as we know, Aphrodite arose from the sea in a clam, okay? So we have the salt already in the bottom of our vessel, and now I'm going to place the seashell as an offering for Aphrodite to help me express my self-love in this coming time, because when we're seeking our truth and we're diving into those unknown forces again, those places we normally leave unseen and untouched, we really need to have that self-love that comes through. We really want to be empowered by the power that we hold within ourselves. So we're going to place that seashell for Aphrodite inside the salt. And then also I have some garlic right here, because Hecate is someone that I really like to communicate with and draw off her essence. She governs witchcraft, the moon, all those certain things. She resides in the underworld, in the darkness. She's also represented in the triple goddess form a lot of the time you see her. So she's someone that I always like to come into communication with. So for her, I'm offering some garlic. Garlic is also really good for protection, and it's also really, really good for healing. If you ever have a toothache, bite down on a bulb of raw garlic. Seriously, it's like an antiseptic, and it works right away for the pain levels you're feeling. So that's also a really good thing about the garlic, is because as we dig into these areas we normally don't see, that we leave untouched, that we kind of hide from, we want to feel that extra protection. We want to feel that power. So those are the two deities that I talk to and that I communicate with within my rituals. So if there's somebody else that really reaches out to you that you feel a bigger connection with, definitely put an offering in for them, honoring them for all they do for you and how they inspire you to change your life and, help others in the greatest good. Okay? So with this being the last full moon the last moon in general for the astrological year, what we're going to do is honor the rebirth of dawn that's going to be coming with the spring equinox. So I had some flowers in my home. So these are the little dried parts that fell, because I always like to keep those. Okay. So I'm just going to do this offering because, as we know, in the winter, flowers die and we want to resurrect and bring those back to life. And one of the biggest things about Astara is originally they used to place the eggs at grave sites to embody reincarnation and all of that, and rebirth and everything. So this is kind of my way of doing this. If you have eggshells at home and you want to do that, please feel free. That's something that I'm always going to say to you when we're working towards Astara, just because I personally don't have them because I am vegan. That's something that if you do have them in your possession, definitely use eggshells. They're really, really great in spell work and in this coming season with Astara and everything of the sort, okay? So I'm going to place those flowers into my manifestation box as well. And then I have this clear stone that I found at the beach at Tahoe. So I always like to put stones into my spells that I've personally found, because it gives me this this whole involvement, infusion with the process, because that stone called to me. I picked it up, I found it, I brought it home with me. It means something to me. So I'm going to put that in this box as well, as a sense of wonder and a sense of being able to explore and find what you're looking for. Okay? And then I always use bay leaves for manifestation purposes. So I have a couple of dry bay leaves here. As you know, I don't have a Sharpie, so it takes me a minute to write down what I want to on pen. So I'll write those down on pen later and I'll put them in my box. But right now I'll just put them in there to show you, because I'm going to do my own blessing later. So bay leaves in there. Okay. And then once you close this box or this jar or whatever it is, keep it as it is. Now, if you don't have a lid for your jar or something like that, that's fine. It can stay open. But the biggest part is we really want to let this marinate together, so to speak, you know, so the energies really form fully. So I'm not going to do my blessing right now, but I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. So then you're going to close your container. When you close your container, I recommend putting it in your sacred spots. You can put it on your altar. You can put it in your garden, whatever shows life and meaning and nurture and development to you, whatever holds a special place in your heart. You know, so we're going to place that somewhere. Now put a white tea light. I always use white candles. You can definitely use colored candles. If you want to use pastel candles, since we are going up to Astara, that's really going to be beneficial to you. I personally always use white candles because of protection and purity and just that light essence, especially when we're working in times where we're immersing ourselves in things we normally don't see and get close with, if that makes sense, okay? So set it in your sacred space, put your candle on there, and do whatever blessing you normally do. Now, I recommend each morning and each night, so when you wake up, hold the jar or the container, feel the essences, and then at night, do the same and be grateful for all of those beautiful energies that are in that box that you're able to hold and have, okay? So that's why you're going to make your full moon sacred box, and then you're going to keep this going until Astara, which is March 19th, okay? So there we go. First thing, now since we've finished our little box, let's move on. Let me just pull a card real quick and see where we're at. While we're sitting here, there are some, oh, never mind, we're not sitting. Intellect. Okay, we're getting in touch with what's important to us, what's going to help us grow. And like I said, during this full moon, during this time, moving to the equinox, we really need to take the inspired action. Just like with this manifestation box, we need to be intentional about what we're putting in there. We need to think about how it's going to affect and guide our lives, what we feel drawn to. And with that clarity we're seeking comes an different experience of the mind and logic and your reality, okay? So we have those two cards. Now let's talk about our seedlings. So everybody plants seedlings at different times. I have a bunch of really amazing ones growing right now that I planted around the new moon, or maybe before the new moon, something around the sort. But I want to do seedlings today because we have the spring equinox coming. And to honor that, I wanted to plant some chamomile seeds, really pretty. Okay, I've been charging these and I've blessed these seeds as well. So the reason I was like, oh, I'm going to plant these now instead of the new moon is they take 10 days to germinate, and in 10 days it will be the spring equinox. So how beautiful and amazing is it going to be to have these flowers blossom on that day of renewal, okay, and celebration. So we all know about planting flowers, how to do it. So that's why I'm going to do this one. I'm not really going to get everything situated. But when you plant your flowers, make sure you always read the packets. Now, I got to tell you, I am way more of an intuitive gardener, okay? I really don't follow specifics. I listen to my plants, listen to what they want and what they need and how they're feeling, okay? And we sit and we talk and we hang out during the day and at night. So with chamomile, you want to have a sandy area. So I did put some organic matter in the bottom just because we are growing these seeds inside. But I'm going to fill the top with some sandiness as well. So I'm going to make a mixture of dirt and sand in here so that we have good drainage and easy absorption. Okay. Now, whenever I put my seeds in, I really like to think about an intention that's going to come through and how I'm going to allow myself to embody that intention in the coming time, and how I am going to move forward in that light and inspiration. So what's really magical about planting witch gardens is everything that you're going to be using once your stuff blooms is things that you've cared for and things that you've nurtured. And when you give an intention to your seedlings, you know, they're a part of you and the intention infuses within them. And then what you're going through, you are magnifying, you know, with them. So as it grows, your intention grows and you're able to see things in a different light. Okay. Looks pretty good. So, okay. I'm really excited about this. My witch's garden is looking so great. I have so many beautiful babies. It's always hard dealing with small seeds, okay? So you never know how many are going to grow, and because of that, I always put in quite a few, and then I help the seedlings along. Like, I'll separate them if I've planted too many in the coming time. Okay, beautiful. Perfect. So they are all planted. Okay. Perfect. Now, final thing for this video, we are talking moon water. So, moon water, you want to use rose quartz, regular quartz, amethyst, things that are vibrant with spring, elements that draw you into spring. If you want to add some dried rosebuds into that or some dried lavender into that, please do. I think those are great ideas. I have 2 moon water jars with me today. My personal use jar that I drink from, okay? And then I have my collection jar, which is used for my spell work, my enchantments, my painting of other Reiki jars, and magical tools, watering of my plants, and all of that sort. So you want to fill 2 glass containers, one depending on how you do your spiritual work. I do 2. 2 containers with water. Add your essences, rose quartz, amethyst, regular quartz, some dried flower buds in there is a great start as well. And remember, as you fill them, after they're all filled, before you set them in your window, hold on to them and feel their energies, okay? Set them in the window, allow them to charge. Now, the full moon is going full at 2:38 p.m. tomorrow, so you can have these out to, it appears full tonight as well. So I'm going to put mine out tonight and allow them to charge for 2 full days. Hold them in your hands, feel that energy, and when you go to collect them and bring them into your life, do that as well, okay? Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I am a little scatterbrained, so I do apologize if I was kind of all over the place, but the full moon's coming, so what are you going to do, you know? All right. I'll see you later, oh, actually, do you want to go over some full moon questions to ask yourself that I have written down? Okay, let's do this really quick. So, with this full moon and everything that's coming into being, coming into light, clarity, all of these essences, here's some questions I want you to ask yourself. Number 1, what have I been unclear on recently? Okay, what have I been unclear on recently? 2, what do I still feel like I am avoiding? What do I still feel like I am avoiding? 3, why am I avoiding that situation? And what emotions are coming to light when I think of that situation? 3, what am I avoiding? And what emotions come to light when I think about what it is I'm avoiding? Okay, so that's question 3 to ask yourself. Question 4, if I didn't have this worry, what could I accomplish? Okay, question 4, if I didn't have this worry, what could I accomplish? Question 5, what are some small energetic steps I could take to get to where I want to be? Okay, what are some small energetic steps I can take to get to where I want to be? Okay, and then, what is calling to me that feels brand new? Okay. What is calling to me that feels brand new? How does this relate to what I am avoiding? How does this relate to what I am avoiding? And then the final question, how can I infuse these 2 thoughts into one? How can I infuse these 2 thoughts into one? Okay, now we're actually done. Have a great day, everybody.